Hello and welcome all to the CDC Byte YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about Microsoft certification DP-600, Microsoft Certified Fabric Analytics Engineer Associate. Let's start with what is DP-600. So this exam is designed for data engineers and data analysts working on Fabric workspace. So the exam mainly focuses on the data integration, the basic ETL process, the extract, transform, and the load process, how to use data flows, how to use data pipelines, create an enterprise warehouse or a lake house, accessing notebooks, analyzing the data via semantic models. So basically it's the whole environment of one lake and the certification for Microsoft Fabric. So the exam format of DP600 is that there are total of 50 to 60 questions. There is one case study. It could be in the starting or in the end of the exam. Then there are multiple choice questions. Then there are drag and drop questions, true false, case-based scenario questions. Then the duration is 120 minutes, where the case study is timed within the 120 minutes, and you'll get total 50 to 60 questions, including the case study. The passing marks for the exam is 700 out of 1000. The skills that are measured in these exams is maintain a data analytics solution, prepare data, implement and manage semantic models. So exam mode is online via person view or offline center based. So either one you can choose. Uh, so this is my personal review after giving DP600 what I found and what was my personal feedback to the exam my personal review of the exam. Sorry. So my exam started off with a case study. It was something related to Contoso Limited, and they were trying to set up an workspace for data analytics, data engineers, and everyone. So that the case study was around. I took 20 minutes to solve 7 to 8 questions based on case studies, and then rest I had MCQs. So overall, 65 questions were there. The exam level was intermediate. There were certain 4 or 5 drag and drop questions for some were for T-SQL, some were for DAX Studio, some were for Tableau Editor, or some were for Power BI. Then there were case-based scenario as well. That I like remember there was a case which a person was trying to find out max min average of the average of a data frame. So which function should he use? So it gave df dot summary. So true or false. Just say whether true or false, and you can't go back to the previous questions. So the answer was true. Then df dot find. So answer was false. So this is how there were true false based on case studies. Now there are certain example questions which I have collected and showcased here. So the first question is, you have a Fabric workspace that contains a direct query semantic model. The model queries a data source that has 500 million rows. You have Microsoft Power BI report named Report 1 that uses model. Report 1 contains visuals on multiple pages. You need to reduce the query execution time for the visuals on all pages. What are the two features that you can use? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct answer is worth 1 point. So here the answer is user-defined aggregations and automatic aggregations. Second is, you have a Fabric tenant. You plan to create a data pipeline named Pipeline 1. Pipeline 1 will include two activities that will not execute in sequence. You need to ensure that a failure of the first activity will not block the second activity. Which conditional path should you configure between the first activity and the second activity? So it's very clear that irrespectively, it wants the second activity to be performed. So the answer would be upon completion. The rest are not the right answer. Then you have a Fabric tenant that contains JSON files with one lake. The files have 1 billion items. You plan to perform time series analysis on the items. You need to transform the data, visualize the data to find insights, perform anomaly detection, and share the insights with other business users. The solution must meet the following requirements. Use parallel processing, minimize the duplication of data, minimize how long it takes to load the data. Why should you use two? What should you use to transform and visualize the data? So the answer here is the PySpark library in Fabric Notebook. So this meets all the criterias here and is the right choice. Question 4. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse. You are designing a star schema model that will contain a customer dimension. The customer dimension table will be a type 2 SCD. You need to recommend which column to add to the table. The column must not already exist in the source. Which three types of column should you recommend? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. So basically SCD type 2, in this, there is a history maintained. So an effective end date and time is the option first. Second option is effective start date and end date. And the third option is surrogate key. So these three are the right options. If you have not read about SCD2, you can go and read about SCD2. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a machine learning model registered in Fabric workspace. You need to use the model to generate predictions by using the predict function in Fabric notebook. Which two language can you use to perform model scoring? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct answer is worth 1 point. So the answer here is Spark SQL and PySpark. You have a Fabric tenant that contains a warehouse. You use a data flow to load a new dataset from one lake to the warehouse. You need to add a Power Query step to identify the maximum values for numeric columns. Which function should you include in the step? So the answer is table.profile. You have a Fabric tenant named tenant1 that contains workspace named workspace1. Workspace1 uses a capacity named C1 and container contains a dataset named DS1. You need to ensure read-write access to DS1 is available by using XMLA endpoint. What should be modified first? So anything related to XMLA endpoint can be modified via the capacity settings only. So the answer here is C, the C1 settings. So these were some example questions. You can go through a lot more, and I recommend studying from the learned documents and practicing on the labs. The learned documents are very good and are the uh, real solutions for how to prepare for DP-600. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you.